We're live. Shabbat Shalom to everybody online. Hope everybody's week was good and blessed and productive. Give us a minute. We're just tying all the loose ends together, getting everything shared, and making sure we're at all of our live on all our different outlets. While we wait, let me first give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. Let's get that shared on Rise and Chosen. You should probably share it from my Facebook page.
Yeah.
If it's in the comments, if anybody online or watching this video later would like to donate, we do accept alms, and you can send those through Cash App at hashtag Hebrew Chosen Elect. That's hashtag Hebrew Chosen Elect, and it's in the comments. Like I said before, bear with us. Also want to make sure we ain't got an echo. Last class, we had a crazy echo, and I don't want to have that again. So bear with us. We'll be starting here in 1 second. 460 or 120 or also to everybody watching online, I'd like to say welcome to the bestest, hottest StreamYard and YouTube channel out there right now. No echo so far, but I sound a little choppy. Well, I hope that improves. Internet looks good. Connection is all the way up. I'm just trying to get shared on one more live, one more outlet. Yeah, we're on there. Last time it was only you that had an echo. She just said.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Okay. Yeah. How's that sound? Does the brother have an echo now? We're on the Rise of Chosen, so if you're ready to go. Uh-oh. Church has started? Church has started already over there. Man. No echo, so we're good to go.
All right. Shalom. Once again, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh Shai, and greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel, those who are scattered to the four corners of the globe, who fit the curses throughout the Bible. We say peace and blessings on the Shabbat and Kah Hala Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, which is all praise, glory, honor to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, the world called Jesus Christ. Shalom. We're going to continue our reading in Genesis today, and we're going to continue reading Edify. I believe where we're at.
Today we're going to be going through chapter 4, verse 6. I believe we'll be able to get through it all, but we'll definitely attempt to do so. Definitely bringing out a lot, just like the last. I think it's a little bit less than the last 3 chapters in terms of extra going to here and there, sharing extra biblical sources, and such like. But we'll be starting in chapter 4. This is an in-depth breakdown. We're not just flying by, getting through it fast, and hallelujah, hallelujah. We're gonna break it down in depth, point by point, breaking and tearing down all the lies that we've been taught through Esau in this world today, and through his different religions and philosophies. And so, if everybody can go to Genesis chapter 4. Let me share my screen. Get that situated. All right, so always something. 1 second. I'm doing something wrong. Or is it just a delay? Share screen. I'm having a bit of a delay. 1 sec. I think we almost set. I don't know why it's like silly. I got full internet connection. Check comes. It sounds very staticky, but yeah, it's it is what it is. I mean, there's been quite a delay. I'm good now for the sharing the screen. I don't know what to do about that. All right, we're good to go. So, Salakia, we're going to start off in Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. Go ahead and bring that out when you get a chance.
Salakia. The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahweh. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time,
well, you see real quick, you see there hasn't been a separation of time or anything. It's really, it's pretty much the same way you read the birth of Jacob and Esau. She bare one and then bare another. It doesn't say she conceived again. It just presented the case of she conceived one time. She conceived one time and bare Cain, and then it goes right on to say she again bare his brother Abel. So the same way we have Jacob and Esau, good and evil, and they was twins, the same we got here. Cain and Abel were born twins as well. The righteous and the wicked. Go ahead.
And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. Mm-hmm. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahweh. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
See that? So they both brought offerings to the Most High, right? But Abel, he brought of what, God had made naturally. Cain, he brought of what he could, cause to come to be by his own hands, right? So he gave what he could replace. Abel gave what he can't replace. That's why Abel's offering was so much better, right? We're going to go a little bit into it by going to the Antiquities of the Jews, book 1, chapter 2. So if you're online and you have a Josephus, it's the Antiquities of the Jews, book 1, chapter 2. And we're going to read from number 52 on down. 52 on down.
I was going to get the definition of firstlings.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
All right. The International Standard Bible Encyclopedia definition of firstling. Firstling, firstborn. The first. The Hebrew word denotes the firstborn of human beings as well of animals. Exodus 1, 11:5. While a word from the same root denotes the first fruits. All the data point to the conclusion that among the ancestors of Hebrews, the sacrifice of the firstborn was practiced, just as the firstlings of the flocks and the first fruits of the produce of the earth were devoted to the deity. The narrative of a Moabite war records that sacrifice of the heir of the throne by Mesha to Chemosh, the national god. So the firstling was the best of the first of all animals that were being born, the firstborns.
Mm-hmm. Just like your firstborn child, that he has a higher place than the rest of them, right? So the same thing for your firstborn. Your firstborn of your sheep. Usually, that the firstborn is going to be of more of stature, more high quality than the rest. That's why the scripture says that with women, when they have kids, that as they more come, they how's it go? They are lesser strength, and I'm chopping it all the way up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, your firstborn is the leader of the flock.
Yeah, much. But no, when she has children, the more she has, the less strong they are. Man, I'm chopping it up, but Don't worry
say
about it.
quality.
Yeah, that ain't the word. But I'm thinking about a scripture. It was just in my head, and I lost it that quick. But either way, so Abel though he brought the best of what he had though, and Cain, Cain the wicked one, he brought what he could replace. He brought what I can get that back. So I'm gonna just give him this. I'm not gonna give him the best that I have. I'm gonna give him something. He'll accept of it.
Salaki, it doesn't even say that he gave up his first fruits. It just says he gave up his fruits. So he just gave what he could put together. Like, here, take this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But we're gonna see it. So the Josephus.
The book of Josephus.
We're gonna start at 52. We're at book 1, chapter 2.
The book of Josephus, book 1, chapter 52.
No, chapter 2. This is verse 52.
Chapter 2, verse 52.
Time.
Okay. The book of Josephus, Antiquities, chapter 2, verse 52. Adam and Eve had 2 sons. The elder of them was named Cain, which name, when it is interpreted, signifies a possession. The younger was Abel, which signifies sorrow. They had also daughters. Now, the 2 brethren were pleased with different courses of life.
And real quick, how does Josephus know that they had daughters? Because we didn't read that, right? But how does he know? Because later on, the scriptures tell us that through the whole line of Adam, all his descendants down, the chosen one, you notice, will be listed. But then it'll say, and he had sons and daughters. See, and we're going to get there, but we're already in Genesis going to see that chosen line because each person named, one person is named, and that seed is named after it, but all of them had sons and daughters. So he also had daughters. Go ahead.
Verse 53. Now the 2 brethren were pleased with different courses of life. For Abel the younger was a lover of righteousness and believing that Yahweh was present at all his actions. He excelled in virtue, and his employment was that of a shepherd.
And isn't that what Israel is? Isn't that what we're supposed to be? Shepherds. So Abel, he was before us. That there was Abel. He was a shepherd. What does a shepherd do? A shepherd cares for lives that's not his own, even that of animals. You see that? He's about providing for those that can't provide for themselves. And who's the head, the shepherd? Yahweh, right? So before Israel, before Yahweh, Abel, he was the shepherd. He was the righteous child. Go ahead.
But Cain was not only very wicked in other respects, but was wholly intent upon getting other respects. But was wholly intent upon getting, and he first contrived to plow the ground.
You see that? So so the curse was that we would have to plow the ground, right? So it's not necessarily that he was wicked because he plowed the ground. Somebody had to plow the ground. But he wasn't just plowing the ground to get what we needed to survive. He wasn't plowing the ground to get what would fill his stomach and, even others. He wasn't a shepherd. He wasn't plowing the ground so that everybody else could eat as well. He was plowing the ground so that he could get gain. He was plowing the ground so that he could get whatever, as much as he could get out of the ground. The same way Chiquito would do it. Who else? Tyson. I don't think they do fruits, but with the meats, they got thousands and thousands of animals in one building so they can get as much as possible. They're trying to get. They're intent upon getting so that they can get what? Money. They can get riches, wealth, power. So that was Cain. So back then we had an Esau today, that's who's playing the part of Cain. So even back then, what was done today, nothing's new under the sun. Jacob and Esau today. Before us, there was Cain and Abel. And then later on down the line, we're going to see Seth. But, so that's what made Cain wicked. That's what made his offering wicked. He was just taking it's like you got a truckload of watermelons. You done monopolied the whole market. And then you bring about 5 watermelons to offer the Most High. You don't really do it because your heart's right. You do it because, I got that. I can spare that. You're thinking about, can you spare that? And you're only bringing what you can spare. That was Cain.
Or he didn't even bring the best of what he had.
Mm-hmm.
He bought 5 of his just regular watermelons. They wasn't even of his first fruits. They wasn't what he would consider that he would go out and get money with.
Yeah, he looked at it like, you know what, I don't need that one. That one probably
like that steak good enough for the Most High.
Get rid of that. I get that to the Lord. He'll be good with it. Go ahead.
He slew his brother on the occasion following. Verse 54. They had resolved to sacrifice to Yahweh. Now Cain brought the fruits of the earth and of his husbandry, but Abel brought milk and the first fruits of his flocks. But Yahweh was more delighted with the latter oblation, when he was honored with what grew naturally of its own accord, than he was with what was the invention of covetous man and gotten by forcing the ground.
See that? He was honored by because it grew naturally. This was of the Most High's invention. The other one was of man's devices. That's like we'll give up. Man today might give up sacrifice his car, his spare car, give it to the church or something, instead of giving up his time, instead of sacrificing himself. That's how today you might do that. Like, you know what? I got this old beater in the back. You know what? Let me get some have the Most High look good upon me by let me donate this to the church. But I ain't going to donate none of my time. Go out to camp? Nah, I can't do that. Come to class? I can't do that. Just come and help my brother when he's in need. I can't do that. I got work to do. Whatever it is. But, I got this old beater in the back. Yeah, let me donate that. That way they can go pick up whoever needs a ride to class on Saturday. I ain't about to do it, though, either. I ain't doing that either. That's how you would do that today.
You could also see that, like, current today, we're using, Esau is using pesticides, which corrupts the soil because he's forcing the product to come. Monsanto, corruption of all of this, not only the corruption of the seed and the earth, but ignoring the land fast, as well as poisoning people. His thirst for gain is what you see here.
Yeah, that's enough, ignoring the land fast. And then wonder why there's droughts. Wonder why, we're losing crops over here. So we gotta really push it and do more over there. Because at this land, we going through a drought and ain't growing nothing.
He does
but
the land, soil, insect.
But the Most High, he made the earth where that's Sabbath rest for the land. It's going to improve the growth of the produce. It's going to make it come out better if it gets that. But because they're so covetous and so about gain, they're not. I don't got time for that. That's a year that I'm not making money. Con. So back to Genesis chapter 4. What's up? Back to Genesis. Verse 6.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 6. And Yahweh said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
So, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted. If thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. So, see, that just goes to show that, the Most High's not lack of love for the nations, his indignation for the nations, is not because just because. If they do well, would they not be accepted? If we do well, you are accepted. If not well, sin lieth at the door. Well, that's the problem with all the other nations. It's just not doing well. So the same was for Cain. That wicked one, he was told if he does well, won't you be accepted? But it's because you don't do well. Sacrifice, it wasn't good. It was garbage. And it's not me, it's you. It's not Abel, it's you. From there, let's go to James 4:17.
The book of James, chapter 4, verse 17. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin.
To him it is sin. You know to do good, but you don't do it, that's sin. Same thing with Cain. He knew that he could have got some. He could have traded that fruit for some of Abel's flock. But you know why he didn't do that? Because he would have had to give up a fair price, and he would have had to give up some quality that he wasn't trying to give up, maybe some quantity that he wasn't trying to give up. Right? Go to
God also may be a foreshadow on what he thinks about the Sabbath, because he doesn't have that type of mindset to be compassionate about how he moves and have an expectancy here.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just his way.
Yeah, right. Because what's he going to use the Sabbath for? What he's doing today.
Exactly.
He's going to turn the Sabbath into the day to shop.
Right.
Look, y'all don't work today. Well, most of y'all don't work today. But listen, take that day, come shop. And this way I can give your kids some jobs. They'll come work, sell you the stuff, and get a little part-time. And this is going to be our booming day of the week.
So he's going to ignore all the other laws that are tied with that type of spirit to take and please the Most High.
And he knows that rest is good.
Right.
Like, it's good to rest. It's not good to work 7 days a week every day and just work every day till death. Right. But he knows that. But no, that covetous spirit is inside of him and inside of people. Nah, I can't take off no days off. They got that song. I don't get tired. That's sin. Proverbs 10:22.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 22. The blessing of Yahweh, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it.
See that? So the blessing of Yahweh maketh rich. Cain isn't looking for the blessing of Yahweh. Esau isn't looking at the blessing of Yahweh as being riches. Jake in the world, they're not looking at the blessing of Yahweh that gives riches, that is riches. Everything is the carnal, what I can see and touch and feel, what makes me feel good. Keeping up with the Joneses. But blessings from the Most High, that's not work. I gotta give up getting everything I can get just for some good health, just for some treasures down the line, maybe possibly getting into this kingdom of heaven I've been hearing about, that they've been saying is gonna come. It's gonna come when? See, I'm in this life now. I gotta eat now. I could get me a mansion now. I can get Rick Ross got a plane. I can get to that. All I gotta do is push myself. But it's not the blessing of the Lord that they see and it makes rich, but what did Abel see? He saw that. That's why Abel was willing to give up his best. All right. From there, drop that, go to Jude 1:11.
The book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 11. Woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain and ran greedily after the error of Balaam. The reward and perish is the gainsay of Kor.
And the gainsaying of Kor. So it's destruction to them. They've gone way in Cain. What way is the way of Cain? That greedy spirit, that covetous spirit. Same as Balaam had. Balaam, he was at first talking about, I'm not going to go curse them. I can't. Because Yahweh said I can't. And then they kept coming with the money. And then what did he do? He saw that money. He disregarded what the angel told him. The angel told him, wait, if they come back and ask you again to come with them, go with them. What Balaam do? He was thinking about that money. He ain't even wait. He said, oh, I got to go ahead. I can go with them. I can get this money, but then I'm going to just say what the Most High told me. I ain't going to say nothing else. But that money. But he was told to wait and see if they even come get it. Because he was running to that. He had that in him. He had that greedy, covetous spirit, just like Cain, just like Esau today. And just like all the nations. It's all about market. It's all about getting. How do they even get you in religions? How do they get our people into religions? The promise of prosperity. The promise of you're going to get more. If you give a little today, you're going to get more. If you worship Allah, you're going to get riches. You're going to get 70 virgins. That they said are boys.
It also shows you his position against the Most High, because he believes that he can be as God.
Mm-hmm.
He's casting him behind him.
Right. He's acting like this is his creation.
Exactly.
That's exactly how they take it. That's why they not buy. Right. That's why they take lands. They take countries. Exactly. You build something up. Oh, I like that. I'm taking that. Totally against the Most High. Read the rest of that verse in Genesis. We was at 7.
Verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou dost not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So what's that talking about? Well, you read in the NIV, it says, and I put it in here, that's the NIV's version of it. It says, speaking of sin desires to have you, but you must rule over it. See that? So it's kind of the same thing that Paul was saying. Real quick, Romans chapter 7. Romans 7 and 20. Let me see. I think they're saying the same thing that Paul said here. The Christians say that the law is done away with. We can say that Paul said this and Paul said that. But Paul was talking what the Most High was talking. Because the same thing we just read, sin, it desires to have you. It's in every one of us, right? It desires to have you, but you have to rule over it. That's what they did wrong. They totally disregarded you. You're not supposed to just let it have you because, oh, I got Jesus. You're supposed to rule for that. You have a job to do. You don't get the easy way. and send my son to just take away what you got to do to give you a free pass, an easy walk.
We also see that he's saying that the law was done away with, like modern day Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
The law was done away with.
They even take this one and will chop it up and twist it and turn it.
And most times,
But it's, yeah, but it's clear as day. He's talking the same thing that he learned. Paul is talking about what he learned way back in the first book of the Torah and through the rest of it and through the rest of the prophets. 22 down. 7:22.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 22. For I delight in the law of Yahweh after the inward man.
See, if thou doest well, right? Delight in the law of Yahweh. Go ahead.
But I see another law in my members warring against the law of my mind.
Sin. Desiring to have you. Go ahead.
Bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank Yahweh through Hamashiach Yahushua, our Adawan. So then, with the mind, I myself serve Yahweh, the law of Yahweh, but with the flesh, the law of sin.
You see that? So the sin is in the flesh. The flesh desires to take over your mind and to run your mind. But your mind desires the law, and you're supposed to take that and rule over your flesh. You're supposed to, do you rule over something that's willing? You rule over something that's unwilling and bring it into your will. That's ruling over something. We can go back. And that's what the Most High was telling Cain. So, all this hope of, the nations, this, nations, that, they can get blessings and they can be saved, Well, when are they going to do this? The problem is you don't have it in you to do well. The problem is you don't want to do well. Right? And even with another thing with salvation. One of the definitions for salvation is preservation. So yeah, some Gentile, you'll be preserved. This is misconstrued that salvation means rulership, ruler kingdom every time. Sometimes it means preserved. So yeah, you be preserved. And in your preservation, you have to do what? You have to do well. Like those that get taken into their place in Isaiah 14, they have to do well. That's our rulership. That means they have to follow the law of God. They don't get to come and serve, but still do them. Still be after the flesh. And then, there's preservation in it. Right? But back to Genesis. Chapter 4, verse 8.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother?
Hold on real quick. Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. So why did he do it? What was Cain's problem? Go to 1 John 3:11. That's next door. That's the new one. 1 John chapter 3, verse 11.
The book of 1 John chapter 3, verse 11. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother.
So first off, from the beginning, we heard that we should love one another. So Cain, he didn't love his brother. He You got to be a real messed up individual to not even love your twin, let alone your brother that's born of the same mom, same dad. You got to be a wicked individual. He didn't have even that. He didn't have love for somebody that came out of the same womb. His younger brother, dad said Cain came out first, right?
Same seed.
Same seed, same womb. Same. Hey, he didn't even have love for him from the beginning. Go ahead. So that's why he slew his brother.
Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother, and wherefore slew he him, because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous.
So then there's that jealousy. And it's that jealousy that, he's that goody two shoes type. You looking at like that, he's a goody two shoes. I can't stand that nigga. He think he's something because he always, mom and dad, they like him. I don't know why. All I do is disobey them. I don't know why they don't like me as much. That's the spirit he was in, and that's you see that today. Despisers of those did good. Exactly. Go to 1 Samuel 15:22. People be at the job. Let a nigga get a little advancement at the job. What's everybody else looking at him like? Oh, what'd he do to get that spot? Oh, he out here. He's the one that's out here getting his write-ups, telling on everybody.
Shit.
Hey, you seen Rel other day? Why he was talking to the manager by himself over down there. He must have been giving up the info. He couldn't just been having a conversation. He had to be doing something underhanded, turning on y'all. That's how the Negro be at work.
The book of 1 Samuel.
15:22.
Chapter 15, verse 22. And Samuel said, have Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahweh. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than fat of rams.
Mm-hmm.
For rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he have also rejected thee from being king.
See, yeah. So Cain, he was rebellious. Cain was rebellious. And he rejected the word of the Most High. So right 10:7. So he didn't have love. He never had that. He was rebellious. He couldn't be told nothing. He who is this talking about? He hated those that do good, despiser of those that do good.
And he lacked the spiritual fortitude to be able to handle the covenants that would be passed down to him. The Lord has appointed all creation under Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Then here's a man that will grind the earth down to its very dime, and he has no respect of any laws regarding that stewardship. So he talked about him being a shepherd. Well, he has no shepherd qualities here. He's self.
Mm-hmm. Like, imagine how he would be with his cattle, with his flock. Imagine. Like, you're supposed to do what to your sheep, your cattle? You're supposed to feed them, right? You're supposed to water them. You're supposed to give them some type of comfort, so that you get the most out of them. Because even though they're dumb, they're still living. They still got some type of, they breath in them, but they know neglect. They know hunger. Like when they're hungry, it's not like, oh, it's just a machine. It don't feel nothing. They have certain qualities that we have. They just don't have the reasoning, the mind we do. So think about how somebody like Cain would tend to his flock. Water, what's it do? It costs. It costs money or it costs manpower during that time. They didn't have the piping systems that just brought it in, so you would have to hire laborers to bring the water. So how can I save? Okay, well, I'll just give them enough to not die. That's what he would do with his flock. Give them straw and food and grass. I'm gonna give them the minimum because I gotta have people to do this labor, and that's gonna take off of my overhead. That's what a Cain would do. Um, and you was talking about laws. Why I even said that? Don't we have laws that tell us how to treat our livestock to a certain level? He's going to throw all that away. What did it say? Not to work the field with the oxen or what together?
Oxen, donkey.
A donkey. He's going to do that. He's going to do it. He's going to sow the same seed that's probably. I bet you his fruit was of mixed seeds, probably, because he's rebellious. He's not caring about the word of the Most High. So even with his tilling the ground, it's all about getting gain. So he's rejecting, like you said, that 7-year Sabbath. He's most likely rejecting having one seed in the field, not mixing the two. He's throwing all that out the window.
He will be willing to use toxins, steroids, whatever it takes.
He's going to do just like Esau. Right. Get that, what is it, pesticide you said? That's first thing this guy, get out there. Don't worry, and that's what he's going to do. Don't worry about watering the flock today, fellas. We got to get this pesticide down. They won't die. We'll get them tomorrow. So his flock going to sit there and go the whole day fasting so he can get the pesticide down. Where we at? So he's rebellious. He rejects the word of the Most High. He has no love. Go ahead.
The book Sirach, chapter 10, verse 7. Pride is hateful before Yahweh, and by both doth one commit iniquity.
So he's prideful. This is Esau. This is the first Esau. All the traits we see in Esau today, we see in Cain. Go ahead.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and righteous riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
You see that? So even with the kingdoms are translated for that. Because if you would do well, wouldn't you be accepted? But if not, the sin lies at your door. This is all the same thing. Kingdoms are translated because of this. How did we get our kingdom translated away from us? Following this, getting in this spirit. Go ahead.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such and he was covetous.
We already said it, but prideful and covetous. Go ahead.
For such as one settleth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casts away his bowels.
Drop. Okay, stop there. So, and that's what the main problems with Cain. Abel was virtuous. Cain was all these things. He was everything that the wicked is. Prideful, covetous, hateful, rebellious, idolatrous, greed of gain, all those things. All about the flesh and the carnal and the world. He loved the world. He's a friend of the world. It's making him the enemy of God. Back to Genesis. Verse 9. How you go from reggaeton to this? Is
Church music make me sleep.
that was reggaeton they had on. Salsa, same thing to me.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 9. And Yahweh said unto Cain, wait, we skipped part.
I don't think we did, but you can read 8 again.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 8. Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. And Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand.
Mm-hmm.
When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I could bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face.
Real quick,
shall I be hid.
pause that. Another thing, it just hit me. Just to show about the mind state that the wicked has versus the mind state that we have, that the righteous is going to have. And you can see that just in how they handle punishment. So read that again. What did Cain say?
Cain said unto Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from the face shall I be hid, thy face shall I be hid, and I shall refuse it the vagabond in the earth, and shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Okay, so he's complaining, right, of his punishment. It's too severe. Well, let me look this up real quick. Because remember when Eleazar's sons was having to do with women in the temple, right? The Most High, he told Samuel, I'm going to kill his sons. I'm going to kill him, and they ain't going to be priests no more. His seed ain't going to be priests no more. Let's see what he said when he heard about the punishment the Most High laid down that he's going to see future tense. That was in 1 Samuel. Go. Now it's acting slow again. First Samuel chapter 3. Hey, 18, I believe. First Samuel chapter 3.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 3.
Yeah.
Salakia. Samuel chapter 3, verse 14. And therefore I have sworn unto thee, house of Eli, that the iniquity of Eli shall not purge, sacrifice, nor offering forever. And Samuel lay until the morning and opened the doors of the house of the Lord.
So I can read 13.
For I have told him that I will judge his house.
This is talking about Eli, right? The high priest. Go ahead.
Because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. And therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not purge with sacrifice nor offering forever.
Read.
And Samuel lay until the morning and opened the doors of the house of the Lord. And Samuel feared to show Eli the vision. Then Eli called Samuel and said, Samuel, my son. And he answered, Here I am. And he said, What is this thing that the Lord have said unto thee? I prayed thee hide it not from me. Yahweh do so to thee, and more also, if thou hide anything from me of all the things that he said unto thee. And Samuel told him everything and hid nothing from him. And he said, It is Yahweh's.
Mm-hmm. He said, It is Yahweh.
Let him do what he seemeth good.
You see that? But Cain, Esau, that's not the mind state that they are. It ain't let him do what seemeth good. It's I didn't do it, what I did ain't so bad. Why? That's too much. That's too much for me. We can go back.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And Yahweh said unto him, Therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Yahweh set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him.
Okay, stop that. So Yahweh set a mark upon Cain so that everybody would know this is the man that, has this punishment. This is something that can be seen visually. And we all, the understanding is that he got leprosy, right? That's the belief at least amongst our community. The main belief is that this mark is leprosy. Well, it doesn't say that, but can we find that in the scriptures? Like, is it reasonable to assume that by going through the scriptures? Does Yahweh have a way that he marks people for sins by changing their physical appearance? That's the question, right? And we're going to go in the scriptures, we're going to see that he uses leprosy as a way to mark people for sinning against him. And and he does it even, we're going to see, through lineages. He will curse a seed with leprosy through their lineages. We're going to see that. So first we'll start with Leviticus 13 and 12.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verse 12. And if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that had the plague, from his head even to his foot, whosoever the priest looketh.
Real quick, in the leprosy we believe Cain to have gotten is his whole body, his skin being turned from everybody was brown, made from the dust of the ground, and he was turned to being non-melanated. This is the leprosy we believe that Cain received. Because there's other leprosies as well that we'll be able to see right? And you could consider them marks, but I'm going to show how most likely they wouldn't be what Cain received. What's up? Go ahead.
I was going to say, what is leprosy?
What is leprosy? Yeah, but there's different forms. This is what we're going through right now is what would be a clean leprosy. When somebody, lack of pigmentation, that is leprosy, a form of leprosy. It's called a clean leprosy. So go ahead, read on. Quiet, please. You can't see what? The screen? I thought you said you can't
Leviticus
see.
13:12.
Pay attention.
And if leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and leprosy cover all the skin of him that have the plague, from his head even to his foot, whosoever the priest looketh, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that have the plague. It is all turned white, he is clean. But when raw flesh appeareth in him, he shall be unclean.
Okay, so there's a leprosy where you're just normal except for you're pale. You have no pigment. Then there's a leprosy where raw flesh appears. Those are two different leprosies.
Okay.
The first one, it's a clean leprosy. Go to Numbers 12 and 9.
The book of Numbers, chapter 12.
And there's the difference of clean and unclean. That's important. Clean, I can come around. Unclean, I can't come around. Right? Go ahead.
The book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 9. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous.
So Miriam, who was going against Moses, the Most High said, basically, who you think you are? I talked to Moses face to face. Who you Negroes think you are? So he hit Miriam. Go ahead.
And
She
Miriam
became
leprous, white as snow.
Uh-huh.
And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not this sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
What? So why did he do it?
We have sinned.
Yeah, because they did foolishly and sinned. So this was a punishment. He turned Miriam all the way white, head to toe. Turned her to a white lady. Turned her to Queen Elizabeth. She went from Michelle Obama to Queen Elizabeth. Right? This is a punishment. From there, are y'all paying attention? I hear a bunch of sounds.
You making sounds. Like, oh my God.
The class you looking for is over there. Just be quiet. Go to 2 Samuel 3, verse 27.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 3, verse 27. And when Abner was returning to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him there under the fifth rib, that he died for the blood of Ashel, his brother.
So, by the way, it said he killed the man because he had killed his brother. David had told him, though, to let this man be because this had happened in war. David was giving Abner a pass, but Joab, he had that same spirit of Cain. He let the spirit of Cain get on him, right? Same way we do today. We like to follow in Esau's spirit. So he killed him even though David told him not to. Let's see what happens. Right?
Verse 28. And afterward, when David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before Yahweh forever from the blood of Abner, the son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab and on all his father's house, and let there not fail from the house of Joab one that have an issue.
So he gets hit with a few things. So through he's always gonna have somebody that has some type of issue. That's a sickness or disease, right? Go ahead.
Or that is a leper.
He's never gonna not have a leper in his seed. He's gonna pass down leprosy as a punishment for killing Abner. Go ahead.
Or that leaneth on a staff, or that falleth on the sword, or that lacketh bread.
Right. So, and the point was the leper part. He got hit, but one of those things was leprosy. This is Israelite. So, guess what that means? Guess what that means? Today. There's
albinos in the
there's
bloodline.
Israelites that you might think is of a different nation because of the pigment of their skin. It just is what it is. They're Joab kids.
Or they got albinos in the bloodline.
Yeah, but you're probably going to think they're Hamite, or you might think they're black, but they got albinos. They could, but who they mix with through time? They could be Chinese, pale-faced Chinese. You think, oh, that's a Chinese man. He's descendant of Joab. Albino Hamite. You think that's a Hamite. Got leprosy, albinism. That's Joab's kids. But yeah, that's a punishment. 2 Kings 5:25.
2 Kings 5:25. But he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither. And he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee when the man turned again
from his chariot?
It's like I lost my spot.
All right, find it. So this is Elisha chastising Gehazi, his servant. Elisha had healed a king of, I believe, Syria named Naaman of leprosy. Naaman offered a gift to Elisha for healing his leprosy. Elisha turned it down because he wasn't doing it for the money. He was doing the Most High's work, right?
Verse 26.
He did it that the Most High be glorified. So he wasn't accepting the gift. Gehazi wasn't supposed to get the gift either. When Elisha wasn't looking, Gehazi follows after him, catches up to him. He's like, hey, he changed his mind. Let me get this, that, and third. And he got it. But Elisha knew the whole time, so he's chastising. Go ahead.
And he said unto him, Went not my heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and manservants and maidservants? The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper, as white as snow.
And that's the key too. So Gehazi's got descendants that's walking the earth today looking like white boys. They got leprosy forever. So that's a punishment. So it's looking like we're seeing scriptural backup that Cain got hit with this. But how do we know? How can we reasonably assume that he didn't get hit with the leprosy of open flesh we read about? How can we reasonably X off the unclean leprosy? Well, let's get a couple scriptures to knock that out. So Leviticus 13 and 14.
The book of Leviticus chapter 13 verse 14. But when raw flesh appeareth in him, he shall be unclean. And the priest shall see the raw flesh and pronounce him to be unclean. For the raw flesh is unclean. It is a leprosy.
Has anybody ever seen the kingdom of heaven? Have you ever seen the kingdom of heaven?
Yeah, the movie.
The movie?
Oh, no.
Well, listen, I'll see if I can look it up real quick.
It was wearing masks that porcelain.
Yeah, it was a king, right? He my king. This, and he had leprosy, that type of leprosy. His flesh was being ate away. So he had to wear, like you said, he had to wear a mask. Porcelain was steel. It was okay. Porcelain mask. Always, he had to wear gloves. Everything had to be covered. Nobody wanted to touch this dude. Man. He was bad. Let's see if I can look it up real quick. If it actually, I'll just let it be. But kingdom.
As a child, has not been born yet, and the skin is in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to do a study earlier this week myself, and I was looking up Gehazi as well. But it said that Esau had took Canaanite wives, but it was another guy, and I can't remember who it was, and it was a curse of leprosy in Canaan. You know what I mean? Esau took wives of Canaan. You know what I mean? So that ties where it also he took wives that looked like himself.
This is good.
And they say Canaan was African nation, but people don't remember that it was leprosy in Canaan too as well. Yeah.
Look at this. This is a scene from when he was either dying or when he dead. They took the mask off. They showed his face. This is how he was living with that leprosy, that type of leprosy. This is the unclean leprosy. Yeah, check that out. Right? See if it's
what's the unfortunate?
But yeah, that was it. Like that's just an example. This. So picture this dude walking around alive. Who's dealing with that? You doing a business deal with him? You taking employment from him? You want to take your check out of his head? Hell no. Right? So that's an example of visual right quick. Back to Leviticus.
This clip was used for educational purposes.
Drop down to 29. Same
Fair
chapter.
Use. Verse 29. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry skin, and there be it. Slakia. It says the dry skull, even a leprosy upon the head or beard.
Mm-hmm.
And if the priest look on the plague of the skull, and behold, it be not in sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut up him that had the plague of the skull 7 days. All the days therein the plague shall be in him, he shall be defiled. He is unclean. He shall dwell alone without the camp.
He is defiled. He is unclean. He shall do what?
He shall dwell alone without the camp. Shall his habitation be?
So that's why, because he can give other people leprosy. Right. One more.
It's like blonde hair. Like when a woman sitting there bleaching hair. And then it's like on the spiritual level, they want to bleach their hair like our enemies, like so-called white women. It's a leprosy.
Yeah. But at the same time, that would be a clean one. So we see that. The women with that they're the men and women, the blondes, they are clean lepers. Right? Let's get one more. So we saw that you have the clean, you have the unclean. The unclean person is defiled, needs to dwell alone by itself, outside of any camps. All they can dwell with is other lepers, other unclean lepers. So one more, it looks because I don't believe that you could reasonably say that this is the leprosy that Cain had because of what he did after he gets banished. I mean, he built a city. Who's coming to dwell in the leper city? Look, the rent's low. Who's signing up? You can get a nice house in Leper City.
Leper City.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get a 5-bedroom for $50,000 in today's market. Who's coming? Nobody. Exactly. Read this.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 26:16. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction, for he transgressed against Yahweh his power, and went into the temple of Yahweh to burn incense upon the altar of incense.
This is King Uzziah. So we know that we're not supposed to go do what he's trying to do. This is the job. Only the Levites can do this. Go ahead.
And Azariah the priest went in after him, and with him 80 priests of Yahweh that were valiant men.
Mm-hmm.
And they withstood Uzziah the king, and said unto him, It appeareth not unto thee, Uzziah, to burn incense unto Yahweh. It appertaineth not unto thee, Uzziah, to burn incense unto Yahweh. But the priests, the sons of Aaron, that are consecrated to burn incense, go out of the sanctuary, for thou hast trespassed. Neither shall it be for thine honor, for Yahweh thy power. Then Uzziah was wroth, and had a censer in his hand to burn incense. And while he was wroth with the priest, the leprosy even arose up in his forehead before the priest in the house of Yahweh from beside the incense altar. And Azariah the chief priest and all the priests looked upon him, and behold, he was leprous in the forehead. And they thrust him out from thence. Yea, himself hasted also to go out, because Yahweh had smitten him.
Read.
And Uzziah the king was a leper unto the day of his death, and dwelt in a several house, being a leper. For he was cut off from the house of Yahweh, and Jotham his son was over the king's house, judging the people of the land.
Hold up. So he was got the leprosy that we read about. He got in his forehead, and he had to live in a several house with other lepers, or by himself. Go ahead.
Now the rest of the acts of Uzziah, first and last, did Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, write. So Uzziah slept with his fathers.
Watch this.
And they burned him with his fathers in the field. They buried him with his fathers in the field of the burial which belonged to the kings, for they said, He is a leper, and Jotham his son reigned in his stead.
And like you said, they buried him in the field. They didn't bury him in a sepulcher with the other kings. He buried him in the field. So he was buried amongst the kings, but he didn't get that top burial that kings really got, right? Because he was a leper. So that's what happens with unclean leprosy. And that ain't looking, that wouldn't make sense that that's what Cain has. And we're going to see why, because everything he does after this point. Go to Genesis, back to Genesis 4, verse 16.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 16. And Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch.
So Cain knew his wife. Who's sleeping with a unclean leper? Women will cheat on you over not doing their job and doing the dishes or anything. It don't take much. But you coming home with an unclean leprosy, looking like that monster we just looked at, and laying with this. She's not laying with that.
Not at all.
Not at all. And then he bare Enoch and builded a city. What do you need for a city? People. Nobody's coming to live in Leper City, no matter what the price of rent is. Actually, in the law, you can see that even houses can get leprosy, right?
Yeah, it's mold.
Yeah, mold. But that's how you don't want to deal with that. Go ahead. So, but next point though, Cain built a city.
The book of Genesis,
cities are populated. That just goes back to the topic we already dealt with, but who is on the earth at this time? People, nations. That's how Cain was able to leave the so-called first three people on earth and go have a wife and build a whole damn city. You don't need that if there's nobody on earth. So that's just back on that point. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 18. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begat.
And then where did Enoch get a wife to have Irad? Because they left. You can't say it was Adam and Eve had daughters or whatever. He left them. So it had to be people on earth. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
And Irad begat Mahuiel, and Mahuiel begat Methusiel, and Methusiel begat Lamech. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other was Zillah. And Ada bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. Mm-hmm. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. And Zillah also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer and brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said,
real quick, see that the descendants of Cain, they were the inventors, the originators of the things that are loved in the world, right? Not to say that those inventions are just wicked in general, but what is the world about today? The world's about all these things. Cain's descendants were the inventors of this, right? Go ahead.
And Lamech said unto his wives Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall
real quick. It said Tubal Cain was an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. So you go down the list, whatever you can create beyond what's needed for the use of man, he had that knowledge. He was the instructor of it. Go ahead.
And Lamech said unto his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my heart.
Who's this? Lamech, the son of Tubal Cain? Or
yes, Lamech.
What do you make with iron? Murder weapons. Right? Go ahead.
If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold.
Mm-hmm. Truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. So he was about revenge, avenging his enemies. What's the Most High say about that? Not to avenge yourself.
Yep.
The seed of Cain's like, I'm avenging myself 70 times 70. What did Christ say? Forgive 70 times 70. See, total opposite. So what's the mind state of Esau? I'm avenging 70 times 70. So I got them Negroes under my foot, but I'm not done with them.
It's that he's doing us, even though he know our sin had an end.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's going over the limit, and he knows going over the limit.
Mm-hmm. So from there, let's go to Josephus real quick. Book 1, chapter 2. And this is verse 60 down.
The book of the Antiquities of Josephus, 1, chapter 2, verse 61. He augmented his household.
However.
However, he did not accept of his punishment in order to amendment, but to increase his wickedness.
This is back speaking of Cain.
For he only aimed to procure everything that was for his own bodily pleasure.
This is what he was about. See, all those inventions, those are things that go along with what is good for your bodily pleasure, right? This is the mind state that Cain left with after being punished. What's he lacking? Remorse. He doesn't have that repentant spirit. Neither do the nations. They don't have it. Go ahead.
Though it obliged him to be injurious to his neighbors, he augmented his household substance which with much wealth.
He was obliged to be injurious to his neighbors. I'm getting it by any means necessary.
By raping and violence.
Right.
He excited his acquaintance to procure pleasures and spoils by robbery and became a great leader of men into wicked courses.
He did what?
He became a leader of men into wicked courses.
This is the dude that said, "Oh, this is too much punishment for me."
He also
but it didn't stop nothing.
Shit, he was pretty much teaching rape and pillage.
Yeah, it was like freedom to sin is what he took it as.
Yeah. He also introduced a change in that way of simplicity wherein men lived before, and was the author of measures and weights.
So he was the author of measures and weights. He changed the simplicity wherein men lived before. So, and was the author of measures and weights. So what did he bring into the fold? The value of a sheep versus the value of corn. He put prices on things, whereas before it might be, look, I got this sheep. Hey man, give you this sheep. Give me whatever you can. You know, I see you got fruits and vegetables. I ain't got none of that. Let's do a little trade-off. Give me what you think it's worth. You know, what's that? He got rid of the honor, right? He got rid of the what's the word? Huh? Bartering, yeah. But he introduced the outlet for that covetous spirit to reign and take over.
He introduced price gouging and fluctuation.
Right, you tipping the measures, right? Now corn ain't worth. Look, I see you got so much corn. You know what? The value of it ain't that much. It ain't that much no more. You only need this one sheep. I only need about 10 pounds of corn. That's not an even trade no more. You got thousands of pounds of corn. Even though I only need 10 now, look, I need that 100. Then you meet the price of this one sheep. That's what he brought into the equation.
And by the way, my paper is worth more than your gold.
Mm-hmm. My paper is worth more than your gold.
Yeah.
Yup. This everything Esau is formulated and turned the society into today. The originator was Cain.
Yep, you see the proof in it.
So now we know. You can't deny who is Esau. Then who is Cain? Cain is Esau. Esau is the Europeans, the Caucasians.
We see Esau's inheritance being exercised back here, where he shall rule with the rod of iron. So he recognized early that the artificers that he was making for war is how he was going to dominate the nations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he would rule, like it says up here, by unjust, pure pleasures, by spoils, by robbery.
Yeah.
Even Esau's the dukes, each one of their sons' name was something evil and wicked. It meant something like to procure something, or it was something of vanity. Like one of the sons, I can't remember. I want to say it was Omar, and it was in the concordance I used to have, the Hebrew Israelite Scriptures concordance. It said one of the sons' name was "My gold is God." That's
for Esau.
Esau, yeah, that's one of the sons.
That is
name. I think it was Omar, though. If I'm not mistaken, and it represented the Irish or the Scottish, one of them. Like, it's crazy.
That was Belteshazzar as well, wasn't it?
Belteshazzar, I'm not sure.
Remember when he said gold is our God? It got AK something.
You know, it's in the when we get to the lineage of Esau, it's in there.
Yeah,
it's definitely in there. But keep reading, because it actually says what we're talking about.
And whereas they lived innocently and generously, while they knew nothing of such arts.
You see that before introducing the measures and weights, people were generous. You could get more than the value if I see that you need it, and all I need is your sheep. All right, give me that sheep. You need all this corn. It's, It's probably a little bit more value, but that's what you need. This I only need that. Hey, you'll hook me up next time. That's it. It was a you know it was a hand wash hand type thing before that. People dealt with each other honestly, right? He changed all that. Go ahead.
He changed the world into cunning craftiness. He first of all set boundaries about lands. He built the city and fortified it with walls.
He's hold on. So he set boundaries. He's the first. Cain's the first set boundaries of land. Whereas it's Esau today. You got to have a passport to go in this land. You got the boundaries, right? But whose land is it? The Most High's land. Who gave you the authority to set the boundaries? That's what Esau did. That's what Cain was the first to do that. Most High just gave the land to the people. He set boundaries and used craft. That means he brought out the taxes you gotta pay. Oh, you're from this land. You come over here, past this boundary. You can hang out, stay here for a while, as long as you pay this fee every month. Go ahead. Oh, that was it for that thing.
He built the city and fortified it with walls, and he compelled his family to come together
Real
to
quick,
it.
before that, there wasn't no need for walls. Why is it need for walls now? Because you brought the violence to the earth. That's all you. Go ahead.
And he called that city Enoch after the name of his eldest son, Enoch.
All right, drop that. And go down. Now read the highlighted part.
But Tubal, one of his children, by the other wife exceeded all men in strength and was very expert and famous in martial performances.
So Tubal, that's the one that was
the artificer.
Yeah, that instructed in all that. What does it mean, martial? Right?
Combat.
Violence, right? Combat. I want to get the definition though. Martial. See, I like this one. But yeah, karate, all those things. But the definition of martial is of or appropriate to war. So all those things you said, but then also what? War engines, weaponry. That was this guy's deal. He was a expert in all those things. So where the earth didn't have catapults to throw flaming boulders. Oh, I know. He got to sign this together. Look, he built it. He came up with it. Oh, how can you shoot 100 darts in 20 minutes or whatever? Let's invent some weaponry to shoot that. One archer can only shoot one at a time for however long. How can we diminish the numbers of people and shoot just as many darts as 100 men can out of one device? He's got that. He's building that up. That's Esau today, coming up with everything. He's got so much stuff now. I think the race is not to how powerful you can make your weapon, but now the race is to who can have the best defense system. He's got so much stuff.
Look at your gun makers, your bomb makers, and people who are in this war industrial complex. All Esau.
Mm-hmm. He's running it all, right? Like that movie, Lord of the War. It seems as though, everybody's different players and this and that, but no, really, we got the guy in the back that's taking the trips. And when he gets locked up, y'all ain't gonna hear no more about that, and we letting him out the back door. You still got work to do. Go to Africa.
I mean,
Go to Asia.
I think it's about the best defenses, like you said too. Like if you watch, I don't know if you've seen the TV show Twisted Metal, but all the cities is walls, and they're delivering certain things to different cities, so that you have to be on your P's and Q's with your defenses, so you don't get destroyed. You know what I mean? And you got to be the best delivery person to make it from in between the walls to the next wall city. Yeah, I mean, so,
because everybody can push the button now.
Right.
Everybody got some nukes. One might have more than the other, but the nuke is so powerful, you don't want one to touch it. Right?
And then there was another movie, I can't remember what it was called, but they had mechanical cities, and the whole city moved, and they went to war against the city when the city moved around the whole planet. It was crazy. I was like, oh, man.
Oh, yeah, they trying to invent that city called Heaven. That's what they're trying to do. They're like, oh, God can do it, we can do it too. Yeah.
But Cain is setting every man's hand against his brother.
Well, the so-called white man is doing that. Amalek's doing that. He's normally on both sides of every war. You know what I mean? He's got the duality to do these things. Yeah.
So go ahead. He procured. So he's expert in warlike performances and the arts.
He procured what tended to the pleasures of the body by the method, and first of all invented the art of making brass. Lamech was also the father of a daughter whose name was Nama, and because he was so skillful in matters of divine revelation that he knew he was to be punished for Cain's murder of his brother, he made that known to his wives. Nay, even while Adam was alive, it came to pass that the posterity of Cain became exceeding wicked. Even everyone successfully dying one after another, more wicked than the former.
So Cain just kept getting worse. The seed just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and killing and more and raping and more. But
they were intolerable in war and vehement in robberies. And if anyone were slow to murder people, yet was he bold in the profligate behavior and acting unjustly and doing injuries for gain.
See that? If anybody was slow to it, he was bold in it. It means he was Esau today. He was the expert with the sword. He was above all others.
He ruling with the sword. I mean, this is blessing.
We see the entertainment that he used in the Colosseums. We see the entertainment that he used with the hanging and the picnics of us going through.
The picnic,
and their desire that they could entertain with suffering is interesting.
He was, before Esau was doing it, he was cutting off noses. He was cutting off ears and limbs and taking and hanging and burning and pillaging. Go back to Genesis.
Book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 25. That's like verse 24. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. For God said, she have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of Yahweh.
So real quick, back to Josephus. It's the same book, but verse 68 about Seth.
The book of Josephus, book 1, chapter 2, verse 68. Now this Seth, when he was brought up and came to those years in which he could discern what was good, became a virtuous man. And as he was himself of an excellent character, so did he leave children behind him who imitated his virtues. Verse 69. All these proved to be of good dispositions,
Real quick, the seed of Cain and the seed of Seth are all what? They're all the seed of Adam.
Correct.
So technically, Cain would also be the son of God, of that lineage, right? But we see that Cain, he was of the wicked one, right? Now it's Seth because he killed Abel. Now this is Seth. Seth replaced Abel because he was what? Virtuous. He was the righteous seed, replacing Abel. Go ahead.
They also inhabited the same country without dissensions, and in a happy condition without any misfortunes falling upon them till they died. They also were the inventors of the peculiar sort of wisdom which is concerned with the heavenly bodies and their order, and that their inventions.
So, no, that's good. So they was bringing the word. They was bringing the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High. That's what they was about. They was about the Father's business and righteousness and virtue.
We see the Most High is always separating the goat from the sheep.
Mm-hmm. And even back then, so you had the goat, Cain and them, then you had the sheep, Abel, and then Seth. Right? So now we're going to move to book chapter 5 of Genesis.
The book of Genesis, chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam in the day that Yahweh created man in the likeness of Yahweh made he him.
Mm-hmm.
Male and female created he them and blessed them and called their name Adam.
Called their name Adam. So we call the people Adam. Go ahead.
And that day when they were created.
And this is the Adamites. And it's about to go through the lineage of the Adamites. Go ahead.
And Adam lived in 130 Salakia. And Adam lived 130 years and begat a son in his own likeness after his image, and called his name Seth. In the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died.
Mm-hmm.
And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos. And Seth lived after he begat Enos 807 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 90 years and begat Canaan. And Enos lived after he begat Canaan 815 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 70 years and begat Mahalalel. And Canaan lived after he begat Mahalalel 840 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 65 years and begat Jared. And Mahalalel lived after he begat Jared 830 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begat Enoch. And Jared lived after he begat Enoch 800 years and begat sons and daughters, and all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived.
And these are going through the lineages, like I said before. It's always you got that one specific son that they give the name to. Then they forget they had sons and daughters.
They carried the covenant.
Mm-hmm. But they were all the sons of God. They were the Adamites, the descendants of Adam, who was the son of God. We're going to get to it. But then through that, it's always this one line, though. The same way with Yahweh Shai, you got all those people in there that names that certain line coming down, but they was all still having sons and daughters who were still what? Israelites, still Judites. So that's what you're seeing here. You got the top seed seed line is going through that, but then you all these sons and daughters we're reading about, that's the nation that's populated while still having the other nations on earth. You have that chosen nation in the earth. Go ahead.
And Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with Yahweh after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the years of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with Yahweh, and he was not, for Yahweh took him.
So Yahweh took him. So what was special about Enoch? Well, let's start off by Sirach 49 and 14. Because even amongst all these descendants, you had Enoch, who was above and beyond all of them.
The book of Sirach, chapter 49 and 14. But upon the earth was no man created like Enoch, for he was taken from the earth.
So it said there was no man like Enoch. So Enoch was more righteous than anybody, had more wisdom than anybody. He walked with the Most High. He did everything that the Most High wanted done. That was Enoch. From there, go to 44:16.
The book of Sirach, chapter 44, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Enoch pleased Yahweh and was translated, being an example of repentance to all generations.
This is an example of repentance. Repentance from what? Adam fell off. The chosen seed fell off. But he was kind of like who? Christ. Right. He walked with the Most High. Whereas the rest we couldn't get right like that, Enoch was above. He was good. Go to Hebrews 11:5.
Funny you say that. I had that written there in the side.
What? What you got?
I
Hebrews
put
11?
yeah.
Yeah, let's go there. 11 and 5. So whereas Adam, he fell away from the Most High, he slipped up. Enoch, he was doing the Most High will. He wasn't being fazed by the outside world.
Hebrews 11, verse 5. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because Yahweh had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased Yahweh.
He pleased Yahweh. How do you please Yahweh? Keep the law, statutes, commandments. Right? So what did Enoch do, CJ? He did what? He kept the commandments. He wasn't like, he was in the world, but not of the world.
That's right.
See that? Same way you're in the world. Same way y'all go to school and got to deal with the kids this, what they do. Huh? In the world, what they do though? What are they about? Aren't they about fighting for the gram? Making videos.
They won't be steppers.
Want to be steppers. They get on videos. They got a cell phone device, and they got a TikTok.
They want to record you fighting.
They want to record you fighting. They want to get views, right? Or they want to meet you in the bathroom for weird stuff, and it's supposed to be accepted.
Or their parents letting their children cross dress.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a wicked generation.
At their school, there's a boy wearing a Pikachu dress.
Mm-hmm.
Are they trying to meet girls and take girls in the bathroom?
It's a big, gigantic boy. And
She's over there. They trying.
Man, he got pink braids and everything. He a big ass boy.
Can you take a girl to the bathroom? Can you take a girl to the bathroom? Huh? It's a question.
You can answer it. It's okay. Don't be nervous.
No.
No.
If you do, what do you gotta do? No, if you do, you gotta. That's your wife now. That's your woman. That's your woman now. So what's the point? In the world, they not moving like that.
Nah, they whoremongering.
They're not moving like that. So you have to be in the world, but not of the world. That's what that means. Y'all listening? That's what it means to be in the world, but not of the world.
Y'all not celebrating Christmases, y'all. You're not doing all that. You tracing your hand and making hand turkeys at school during Thanksgiving. Y'all doing that? Y'all making runaway slaves out of gingerbread man. Y'all doing that?
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't put your face on a Christmas ornament
No.
representing the hanging slave. Y'all ain't doing all that. Yeah. How about chasing bunnies for eggs? Y'all doing that?
No.
All right. Y'all celebrating the dog days of summer, setting off firecrackers? Yeah.
Are you like this?
Okay. Celebrating birthday? Okay.
Right. So that was Enoch, right? And because that's the way he moved, that's the way he carried himself, it pleased the Most High. That's the point. Just because everybody else is doing something, yeah, you gotta be different. Somebody gotta be the leader. Is it you? Or you the follower? Enoch's the example of that leader. Just like the rest of the prophets. Where was that? Hebrews 11:5. From that, drop that. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 4:10.
The Book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 10. He pleased Yahweh and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners, he was translated.
Mm-hmm. Read.
Yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding of deceit, beguile his soul.
So why the Most High take him away? Read it again.
He pleased Yahweh and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners he was translated. Yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding or deceit beguile his soul. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things, and are honest, and the wandering of concupiscences doth undermine the simple mind.
Enoch was so good that he took him away, because if you're here long enough, some of that wickedness might rub off. But he pleased the Most High so much that he took him out of that battle. Like he did enough where he didn't have to fight the battle no more of trying to be different in a world of madness. Right? Keep going. And it says it right here.
For his soul pleased Yahweh, therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked. This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up this in their minds, that his grace and mercy
Where you at?
is with his saints.
Where you at?
15. And
We didn't read 13.
Salaki. He being made perfect in a short time fulfilled a long time.
He was made perfect in a short time. He was so perfect that he was so perfect in a short time, it was like being perfect for a long time. Go ahead.
For his soul pleased Yahweh, therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked.
All right, drop that. So that was Enoch.
I thought you should have brought that up.
What?
Well, I had all that highlighted.
We can go back.
This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up this in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with his saints, and that he had respect unto his chosen. Thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living, and youth that is
So even those that die, Enoch was taken away, even those that die but are righteous shall condemn the ungodly. Right? Go ahead.
And thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living, and the youth that is soon perfected the many years of old age of the unrighteous. For they shall see the end of the wise, and shall not understand what Yahweh and his counsel have decreed of him, and to what end Yahweh have set him in safety. I got a precept too.
But what is that saying though? Who knows what that's saying? Who's clipping? I don't know why I hear it clipping. What does that mean? Read that last part.
For they shall see the end of the wise, and shall not understand what God in his counsel have decreed.
Everybody dies. So when people see that everybody dies, they just think, okay, it's something that happens to all of us. So he lives right. He follows the ways of the Most High. And he died just like the Negro next door died. So what do they start to think in their mind? Does it really matter if I do what the Most High says or not? Does it really matter? Because the Negro that's doing wrong, that's not walking according to the ways of the Most High, he died the same way the Negro that's doing right did. That's the mind state that if you're simple and you're not a believer, that's the mind state you'll have. And then you'll follow the world. You'll fall into the world. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
That's it. That's it. But I did have a precept.
All right.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 57, verse 1. The righteous perisheth, and no man left to heart. And merciful men are taken away, considering that righteous is taken away from the evil to come. He shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. That's it.
Oh, read. Okay. I was going to get you done. Right. You want to edify on that?
Well, you pretty much edified before already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Y'all get that? Y'all get that? Huh? What he said? What are we talking about?
Ezekiel, what we talking about? Go ahead, pull it up on the screen. No, what we just talked about, though.
What we just talked about?
When the righteous die.
Like we talk about like how like what you do, like what happens when you like do the keep the commandments.
Here's what we're talking about. Don't get twisted. Don't lose faith or belief in what you believe in if you see somebody that's doing right be taken from this earth early. What it's telling you is, like I said from the beginning, everybody dies and nobody knows their time. So you can see a man that's all mighty in the scriptures, goes to camp, he's got 3 ribs and all his kids in order, and it seems like he's 10 toes down for Yahweh, and he got to be of the elect. And then he could get shot out in the street just like somebody else. And what the scripture we're reading is telling you is, don't get it confused in your mind and think, oh, the Most High took him. It must not matter, or must have really been evil. What he's talking and teaching ain't really what it is. That there's something else that I gotta do that way I'm protected from the Most High. He said they teach that if you follow the commandments, that no harm will come to you. But harm came to him. He got shot in the streets last night by a stray bullet. The scriptures tell you don't let that confuse you in your mind. He might have been taken from this earth as a favor to him.
Yeah.
He might be real. You know how they say rest in paradise? When they say it when everybody dies. It ain't paradise for everybody. Some people don't have paradise to look forward to. But some people, you might see them get taken from the earth. Don't think that they got took from the earth because this path ain't it. They might really be, that spirit might really be in paradise, waiting for the Most High to come back and then be right in the kingdom that you still have to be here striving for. It might have been a favor with somebody that you see and think is righteous and nothing bad would ever happen to them, and something all of a sudden bad happens to them. That might have been the Most High doing them a favor. You ain't going to know it. And that's what the scripture is telling you. It might seem that they were punished, but they really wasn't. That's what we just read.
I got another precept for that too. But let me read this scripture again. It's book of Isaiah chapter 57, verse 1 and 2. The righteous perish, and no man left at the heart. And merciful men are taken away. None considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come.
Yeah, so read that again. Let me pull it up. Read that again. But hold on. So now is it sticking it up? So Enoch, he got took away. Why did he get taken away from the earth? He didn't see that. That's how good he was. Most High took him away. I've seen that, but why did he take him away out of earth? Why would he take away somebody who's so righteous to be such a great example? Why would he?
Yes.
Yeah, and because his example ain't really affecting the Most High. I know these people ain't giving a damn about that example. Right, so he did him that favor. 57
and 2, yeah.
Now read it again.
The righteous perish, and no man laugheth at the heart, and merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. He shall enter into peace. They shall rest in the beds, each one walking in his uprightness.
Because when you die, before you sent back into another body or come back to the earth, you are resting somewhere. And he can have your spirit resting in torments, or he can have your spirit resting in peace. It's not the Greek's TV version of hell, but you can die and you can be in torments before coming back here and being in torments. He put the Egyptians in darkness and tormented their minds. So there is a benefit to doing good, even after death. And there is a punishment that can come after death. If you'd rather have the world and you'd rather basically be a rock worshiper, basically, even when you don't think you are. When you're doing the fruits of idolatry, you're in idolatry. You don't think you're worshiping white Jesus, but you're doing everything. You're doing sin, you're worshiping white Jesus. You're living in sin, you're worshiping white Jesus. Or Buddha, or the Mecca rock. You just count yourself in all of that. Because what's the fruits of that? The fruits is everything in the flesh. Right? So back to the point of everybody dies. It might seem like somebody dies and they was punished, or they died too young. Why did it happen? It happened. This is why it happened. Go ahead.
We also see that the heathen or those that are non-believers, they use this right here as a stronghold on those that do believe.
Mm-hmm.
Because, why is it that God allowed my newborn baby to die? So that's a stronghold, is to explain away God.
Mm-hmm. And then it works for some. Now, okay, you might be right. I ain't. Yeah, like that God y'all talking about.
How do you explain this?
Yeah, how do you explain this? Like, this ain't that messed up? Do you think a righteous God would do this? Because that's unstudied, simple, non-believing mind state. Don't even know like this world is not it's not the kingdom. This ain't the kingdom. This is not the living here ain't the greatest thing that your spirit can have. Oh, God took him. That's horrible. Wait, maybe this was horrible. That's why he took him.
I got another precept.
Right.
This is the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, through 1 through 5. It reads, "But the souls of the righteous are..."
Where we at?
The
Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, 1 through 5.
Right.
But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die.
See that? In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die. Huh?
In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die. And then their departure is taken for misery.
But what we read before, verse 1 said, the righteous are in the hand of God, no torment shall touch them, but they die though. But they still die. Death ain't always what you think it is. You think it's a torment. Go ahead.
And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men.
See, the problem is if you don't get it, you're thinking that this flesh is something. You're not understanding that this flesh is a vehicle that you're driving in, just like your car. And the same way your car can break down and then you can go and get you a whole new one. The Most High, your car here can break down, and the Most High, you still are a driver that's going somewhere.
You understand, Niall?
Your car broke down. When the Most High is ready, he's going to put you in another one. Are we got more on that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope for full of immortality. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For God proved them and found them worthy for himself.
Mm-hmm. So how were they found worthy? They kept the charge until the end. Their hope is full of immortality. You think you see people die. That's just their body died. If they kept the charge of the Most High, they moved on to that reward. That reward that everybody gets on the t-shirt. Rest in paradise. Gone to a better place. That ain't everybody, though.
Let's go to chapter 5.
You got that. You're greatly rewarded. That's you if you kept the charge of the Most High. If you kept the commandments, if you was able to not have a grudge against your brother and your people, you was able to forgive your brother and your people when offended.
Let's go to chapter 5, and we're going to go 1 through 6.
Granny's looking down from me from heaven. No, Granny ain't looking down from heaven. Granny's resting in her place. And she was a damn demon. Even though she was so nice to you, she might be resting in torments.
The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5.
What verse?
Verse 1, down 6. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond all that they look for.
Mm-hmm.
And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, This was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb and a reproach.
And how they do that? Oh, you niggas is crazy following that. What do you mean? You don't do Christmas? You don't celebrate your birthday the same way we do? What you mean? It ain't your birthday week? Why y'all don't do nothing fun? How do you enjoy life following that Bible? Don't you know that God put you here so that you can live it up?
Salaki, just land me off what you said. There's a dude on YouTube named Antoine Daniels. Anton.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was out in Miami and he was looking at the Israelites teaching on the street. It was IUIC. He gonna say, look at the Israelites out here ruining the vibe.
Ruining the vibe.
Ruining the vibe. So you like the wicked vibration that's going on around you, and the Israelites is ruining your vibe because you want to be in your wickedness vibing. And then on top of that, he was shunning the Israelites, but behind him was a tarot card reader, and he was talking about paying $10 to go get his fortune read. So you rather be involved with the witchcraft instead of the righteousness.
Yeah, simple Negro shit. Like it. Read that part again. Oh, I lost my thought. Read it again. The last.
And the repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb and a reproach.
So what it's saying, this is eventually going to happen. This is where we just read that they were greatly rewarded, the righteous, because they endured the trial. That's part of the trial. Like everybody's thinking, oh, you're retarded. You're tripping. You don't want to follow us. You're not trying to sign up for another Freaknik, get another Freaknik festival started.
Go to Bacchanal Caribbean Festival.
You don't want to run a train on this girl in the boys' bathroom with us. Like she's going. She's ready. You don't want to come with us? She don't care. It'll be fun. You don't want to come with us and get this money? Come on, man. You know your dad don't never he only got you one pair of sneakers this year. They was fresh, but it was only one. We could get 5 more. Let's go get this pack off of the old head and we can sell this and we can get some money and we can go to the mall.
Yeah, let's sell this gas.
Mm-hmm. Or hey man, who's that? Who's that dude that be coming over to what's her name house down the block? Then we see him in school, but he don't live around here. Why you think he come in our neighborhood? Let's go rob him. You gonna follow that? You ain't gonna follow that? You a sucker.
You don't want to go flex on this old head?
Yeah, you a sucker.
And record it?
What you gonna do? Sit at church and sing about Jesus all day? You gonna go home and pray to a white man? When you ain't coming with us, you read that Bible, Jesus is white. I don't care what you say.
King James was a homo.
King James is a homo. And that nigga feeding you all this garbage, he used to be doing what we doing. So why you ain't following? Matter of fact, you see that, you know what, you can change later. You know you can change later, right? You know that, right? Because them niggas up at that school, they used to be on the block with us. They made it out, so you can make it out. Come on, have fun now. Let's get these shoes. When you get older, you can get right.
Let's get to the bag.
Mm-hmm. That's what they did. They had their fun. You ain't gonna have your fun like them. Okay. Well, one day that's what they gonna be on the opposite side, and they gonna realize it's too late, and they gonna be saying this.
Verse 5. Oh, verse 4. We fools accounted his life madness.
Mm-hmm.
And his end.
They gonna realize we was the fools. Damn, it's too late. I'm trying to follow him. I'm trying to follow what they doing now. Too late though. Go ahead.
We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of Yahweh? And his lot is among the saints. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us.
This is what you gotta keep memory of. Is this gonna be you one day? Or is this gonna be them talking about you one day? And this is what the whole battle is, to find out if you believe this or not. You're gonna be tried on if you really believe what you're reading or not. So the goal is to get you to be on that side. And then to later down the line be like, oh damn, I chose the wrong way. Go ahead.
I'm jumping down to 15. But the righteous live forevermore. Their word also is with Yahweh, and the care of them is with the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from Yahweh's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies.
Mm-hmm.
He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate, and true judgment instead of an helmet. He shall take holiness for an invincible shield. His severe wrath shall be sharpened for a sword, and he in the world shall fight with him against the unwise.
See that?
And when y'all get a chance, y'all should go back individually and read that whole chapter 5.
Mm-hmm. Con.
What is that in?
Wisdom of Solomon.
Yep. We can drop that. Unless you got something else.
You got a precept? Precept?
No.
Oh, okay. Let's go back. Genesis 5. Verse 25.
Genesis 5, verse 25. And Methuselah lived 187 years and begat Lamech. And Methuselah lived after he begat Lamech 782 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died.
Mm-hmm.
How old was Methuselah? Okay. He was the oldest man ever lived. He was the oldest man ever lived. Methuselah. And he died.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamech lived 182 years and begat a son. And he called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of ground which Yahweh have cursed.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamech lived after he begat Noah 595 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
So Noah was 500 years old when he forgot. We begat them.
Come.
So they might have been triplets. Because it says he begat them at 500. So I never thought about that. They was probably
it
triplets.
It doesn't say that he begat, then begat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, let's go to chapter 6. We can do 6. Now, do y'all got somewhere to be? Y'all got somewhere to be?
I mean, we got 20 minutes then.
Yeah, but I think we can go over a little bit. What do you think?
I don't know. I
We
think
didn't
we should
start
hold
till
it.
late.
Yeah.
We'll hold it.
Yeah, we should hold it. So this is a pretty long chapter. And then we're gonna build precepts on it.
All right. We can hold it. Okay. We'll pick this back up next week. We'll do 6 and 7 next week. All right. We'll end it there. You want to close this out? Let me get this pulled up.
We want to thank everybody for joining us today here in the classroom and online on YouTube and Facebook and all social media platforms. Once again, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh Shai, and the peace and blessings and Asher Shabbat, 12 tribes of Israel, we're scattered to the 4 corners of the globe, and we are Hebrew Chosen Elect Fellowship here at Rose Hill Community Center at 19 Lamson Lane, classroom 110B from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you would like to give any free will offerings or donation to help us with ministry, to help keep a roof over our head, for flyers, equipment, t-shirts, so on and so forth, you can send any free will offering to hashtag Hebrew Chosen Elect at cashapp.com, or if you have Cash App on your phone. And we have a couple feast days coming up, which should be the Feast of First Fruits, and we'll give you the details